Hello, welcome back to another tutorial in the Getting Started series with Let's Code. I'm Samuel Light, and in this video we are going to talk about how to add images to your website. There are several types of images in this website. When you're creating a website, you can add images to the background of this section. You can also add images you can put images in a section, and in this case we are going to start with putting images into the section. So I have my section selected already. We have just picking off from where we started with the tutorial in the previous video. So I'm just going to add an image. Let's see what happens. So I have my image added in here. I'm just going to push it to the right. Okay, now there's the question that is obvious: how do you get images into the application? So first we need to go to the website panel. So I'm going to click on something else to save, or press Ctrl S to save. And for me, I like to click on another element to save because that's faster than going to press Ctrl S to save. Then I go back to my website panel. Now I told you we are going to talk about all this. Let all this not scare you. There's nothing really that difficult about this. This is very easy to understand, and this is also for the benefit of developers, as I said earlier, who know how these things work and would want to add their own extra JS, CSS, blah blah blah. You can do all that, but I'm talking to the person who doesn't really have time to code, who doesn't know anything about coding in this tutorial series. So if you are watching and you're a developer, you can find the developer version of this tutorial series and deal with that one. So right now what we are going to do is that we want to add images to our website. So when you go to website panel, click on the white icon you see on the left to expand the website, and then we click on the image here. So after you have selected image, you click plus. The reason why you need to select something here, so for example, if you want to add CSS, let me just chip this in. You just click here and you click add. If you want to add a blog post, you just click here and then you click add. So the add tool can do a lot of things. If you want to add extra pages, you click on pages and click add. We'll get there. So for now we are dealing with images. So I'm just going to click here and I'm going to click add. When I click on the add button, I'm presented with this option, this pop-up. Now I can just drag everything I want here, or I can just look for it. So let's just try and look for it. So I'm going to look for the training. I have quite a lot of them. So I'm just going to look for images. I can use new images or old images. Let me just go for old images. I'm going to select a few images that I've already edited. So I have some square images here that I'll probably use, and I'm going to have this here because it's going to make for a good design. I am going to go down and look for some PNG images as well. So I have one or two images here, and let's go look for awesome images. And no, let me just take one of these, and I'm going to take something like this. I just want to put quite a number of images in first so that I don't have to come back again and do that. So I select all the images that I want to use, and then I click open. So what happens is it's going to upload all these images for me. Now I'm just going to go select other images that I actually need to upload. I'm just going to upload a few logos that we can use. So these logos probably are not mine. Some of them we created them so that we can use them. Some of them are just logos from elsewhere. So I'm just going to upload them. Salem Pro is one of the logos we created, and I think it has exceeded the number of images we can upload at once. So I'll just pick a few of them so that it doesn't exceed that. Okay, so let's open. Oh my. Okay, I think I should increase the number. Select. Go. Yeah. So basically, let's just have this logo for the meantime. Once we are done, we can upload more if we want to. Now we are done with this. Let's just put it aside. Let's go into our image panel or current access panel. As you can see, everything that we have uploaded is right here. Okay, so basically that's it. What I would want to do though is select this text. Sorry, I'm going to select this image, and I'm going to select an image that I want to use. So let's say I want to use this image. I click on the image, and it's as simple as that. That's how you change your images. That's how you add images to your system. And look at that. It's looking like a website already. I mean, to some extent, it's looking like a website. So what I would want to do here is probably add another image, right? So I'm going to add another image. So I'm going to click on this, make sure that it has saved, and click on the section again. I'm going to add a new image to it. So I click on this image here and I put it at the top here. I'm sure you are guessing what I want to use this image for my logo, and it seems my logo is nowhere to be found. I'm going to go in there and look for it. So let's click on plus again, because I've already selected the image. So in the system, it knows I'm uploading images now. So when I click on the plus, that's what's going to happen. So let's look for this logo that I just uploaded. There it is. So I'm going to click on that, and it's too big, so I'm just going to put it there. You can use SVGs or sort of shapes, but we'll talk about that later. Now I have this settled in. I have this content put in here, and as you can see perfectly, we have put in some images, a logo, and this is looking a little bit okay. Now I'm going to increase the height of my section. I'm going to pull this a bit to the bottom here. I'm going to pull this down as well. And I'm going to pull this down here so that I can have some images over. I can have some space at the top. Now there are several things that I could do to this background. Let's go here and change a few things and sort of bring some color into this. But the only issue is that if you remember, when I was doing the sort of using the note options to add notes to the links in this text, I added a white background. So what would have been really cool is if I added a little bit of padding or reduced the text a bit and added a little bit of padding. This would have looked perfectly okay in a way, but because of that, I might not be able to change the color of the background so easily as I wish I would. I could just go back and take it, which I think I will go back and do that. On the other hand, this image has a background, which is also going to cause an issue, because then the design is going to be a little bit weird. But still, let's go ahead and then make it a little bit interesting. So you're trying to find, so you can change the colors to whatever you want, and I still get back to white. So let's just keep it white for now. Okay, what we need to check now is we want to check the nodes that are applied to this image. You can see we have the border radius node, which we are encountering for the first time, and this actually adds rounded borders to the image that we have. So let me add some of this. Let me do it this way so that you can see how it's actually going to work. Let me just increase this one way a lot, and then that is cool. For you to see what is actually happening here, we need to change this image because it has a white background. It's not really affecting it. We have the padding to the right, padding to the bottom, padding to the left. A padding to an element is sort of the as the word says, padding, right? So it affects elements from the inside. Yeah, so I'm going to explain that better in later videos, but let's take this for example. The text has some paddings around it. So as you can see, when we increase the padding to the top, it's not affecting elements outside this text itself. It's affecting the content of the text. That is putting in a pad. Like for example, if you want to pad a box before you put something inside, that's what padding actually does to any container. So it can reduce, it affects the area within the container or the text that its contents can actually live freely, if you can understand that well. And we have padding to the top, right, bottom, and left. When we talk about margins, it affects other elements. So margin to the top will be the distance from the next element to this element itself, and the rest of the margin to the right, left, and right, left and bottom. You can deal with all that. So basically, that is done. We are going to go on here and then build. Continue with our imaging stuff. So let's go back to the image, and I think most of the notes here have been explained. Z-index is sort of like the hierarchy of elements within the page. it's added to the image because sometimes you add an image and there are other elements. You don't want the image to go below the other element. So let me demonstrate that to you. So you see it's over the text right now, right? If I change the z index to negative, you can see it goes up there, but we don't want that situation here. So we are just going to move it to the right and back to where it's supposed to be. Yeah, so that's what that z index actually does. So we've talked about some of the notes, and as I said, as we are taking each of these create tools or these elements one after the other, we are going to learn a whole lot about these notes, and then you are just going to be able to put it all together in another video to create awesome things. Now we have this design, and I think we've exhausted what we can do with this image at the moment. One last thing I want to talk about is background images, because it's very awesome and it's very cool, because you'd want to add background images to your website. We won't talk about the backgrounds. We'll do a full video about backgrounds that you can add to the website. But in this case, since we are discussing images, we are going to talk about background images. So to add a background image, the thing is that you can add a background image to anything. You can even add it to a text, but you don't have to add a background image to a text. It's really not done. Don't do that. However, you can add a background image to a block and to a section. So I'm just going to employ you to do that and stick to those common practices. So I'm just going to select my section here, and I'm going to go to my node options, background image, and there you have it. So when you add the background image, it's styled, it's repeated, right? So after adding the background image, there's something else that you want to add. That is the background repeat. That tells that if you go to the options, they say no repeat. We don't want it to repeat. Repeat on the y-axis, x-axis, repeat on the y-axis alone, repeat y-axis and x-axis, or just don't repeat. So in this case, we don't want it to repeat. Now there are a few other background properties or background notes that you can apply to this section that we have selected, and one of them is background position. What we want the background to be, where we want it to be, in the center, in the bottom, in the left, and basically the automatic one is in the center. In a case where you have an image and you want to have the most important part of the image always showing in the background. And then we have the background position. Background size. What do we want the background to do? So the basic one is cover. We want the background to cover the whole element that we have. They have contain, cover, inherent, whatever it is that you want to do. But basically, when you add these settings to it, you can have a cool design over here. Now, one of the things that we want to go over in this image tutorial is how to change your background image. You know, we've added the background image, we've added the other nodes that make it awesome. So right now what we need to do is change the background image. We uploaded a lot of images. You see, when you have an image, direct image that you can click, you can just click on that image and change it straight away. That is easy to do. Now when you have a background image, it's a little bit different. When you select the section that you want to change the background image of, you go to background image node itself and click on the image that is available, that is there. Once you've clicked it, go into your images and select one that you want to use. So you can select any of these images that we want to use. So I didn't upload really cool image, I just uploaded any images, and this is not helping. This background is not helping, it's making it look weird. So let's look at that. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we can take this and then click on another element to change it. And so for now I'm just going to delete this. I mean, this is not needed here. And to do that, we just click it, press delete on our keyboard and delete it. We don't need this image here. Now before I finish the tutorial, I want to fix this horrible thing that I did here. I'm going to go back to item link. I'm going to select the element and I'm going to go to background color and delete it. Okay, and press Ctrl S to save. Now basically that is it. I don't have anything else to do. So let me, I just forgot this. I need to take it back off. Now that we have this design, I think I can change the text to white. so that it's a bit better. It's going to be better. And remember, because we have the node options selected, or we've changed the node, anytime we want to change this text or things related to this text, we need to go to item, go to node options, select item link, click on it, change the nodes, and it's a whole back and forth thing, which sometimes can get annoying. So plan what you want to do before you get started. Alright, so I'm just going to make it black so that we don't have to go through all that again. On the other hand, I could add a background color for this and see how it's going to turn out. It's not going to turn out any different, but let's see. Let's add a background color to it. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. But this is just to show you that you can do whatever it is that you want with any of the elements, with the nodes. You have a lot of freedom to customize, to edit, build from scratch, whatever it is that you want to do. So this video is over, and in the next video we are going to pick another element and we are going to go over it. So for example, in the next video we are going to talk about patterns.